It really frustrates me that you literally just took down a Imperial sympathizer ring.
That is a really good point. Like of being able to look down the road. I haven't thought about that.
The Force will be with you always.
What did you think of Hera with the council and the senators
Yeah.
and all of
Yeah.
that? Because I actually didn't like it.
Oh, really?
So I want to hear what you liked about it, and I'm going to share what I didn't like about it, and we'll see if
Okay.
it lines up.
What I liked about it was showing Hera being part of it. Like, because for a long
Okay.
time, like ever since Rebels, we've gotten little hints, right? Like we see the Ghost with some of the ships going in. What is it called? What's the
Oh,
movie? The best Disney Star Wars movie.
oh, Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yeah, of going and helping there. So we saw the Ghost there. We've gotten little hints of like General Syndulla, like stuff like that. But to
Yeah.
actually see Hera like with like the authority, like talking to the senators and being a general and giving a report, I really dug being able to actually see that. And to see like the interactions even with Mon Mothma and like, oh, Jason's, somewhere hanging out with Chopper, which like, I mean, my heart grew like 3 inches. Like it was just like, oh, so I love that thing. Like I love being able to see like those two having a good time together. I'm kind of bummed that we actually didn't see that. We just saw Jason run up, but like to see Chopper with him would be like really cool. But yeah, so it's that stuff's awesome. And then to see like a little bit of like it is bureaucracy, right? Like it is like politics, and even though Mon Mothma has done so much to like go against the Empire and to establish this thing, all it takes is some rich boy with an attitude to be able to throw things into chaos and mess up everything. And I like being able to see, even though she's a hero, it's still people with money and power making decisions
that are best for them. Yeah, and that was the only thing that almost saved it for me, was that this mirrors real life in a lot of ways of senators making the decision that everyone in the room is looking at going, no, that's the wrong decision. And they're like, we don't care. We're making this decision. For me, the two things that bothered me is, one, I didn't like how Hera put the mission second. She let her emotions get the best of her. And I understand what they're trying to do is to show that she is emotional. But I think most oftentimes she was the one that was always pulling in the emotions of everybody else in Rebels and saying, hey, we have to keep this under control. Maybe that speaks to how conflicted and broken she is, that she's losing control. But I would have really, I don't know, it felt, at the time being, maybe felt a little out of character. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world. The bigger thing for me is it really frustrates me that you literally just took down a Imperial sympathizer ring.
Yeah.
You literally just, it's not like, oh, there's maybe people. No, they were making stuff for the bad guys, yelling for the Empire. And yet you're like, that's not that big a threat. Even if you disagree with, and you think, like Zono said, it's all personal, you're just trying to get Ezra back. Even if you agree with that, you could still find a very clear line of path saying, wait, you put a transponder on the thing that was stolen from the people that are for the Empire. Yeah, we got to go get them. Right? Like, even if you put Thrawn aside, even if you put Ezra aside, there should be a train of thought. And for me, what this shows is that the New Republic is weak. The New Republic is broken. The New Republic is barely holding on. And for some, they're like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, I want to see Thrawn come defeat a formidable opponent, not a broken, barely existing New Republic.
That is a really good point. Like of being able to look down the road. I haven't thought about that. Like I've just been thinking about in the moment and being like, well, yeah, I could see, a new government would have a hard time getting things off the ground, and even having to use like these imperialists
Yeah,
as workers in these different government systems. Like I like that makes sense to me.
sure.
But that is a really solid point. If the
Well,
buildup is to see Grand Admiral Thrawn being Grand Admiral Thrawn, like, then
yeah.
wouldn't you want to show the Republic as more formidable? And
Or
so
at least
far, they've
Mon
been
Mothma,
shown.
right? Imagine,
Yeah,
so they're saying we're going to talk, and then they come back, and Mon Mothma says, "You've got your ship," and Zono leaves angrily out of the chat, like to show that Mon Mothma overruled them and said, "This is what we need to do." To show her strength, I think would have been interesting. Now, obviously, they want Sabine and Ahsoka on their own. They don't want to create a whole space battle in the 4th episode, I think, which I get. But at the same time, for me, so that was where my brain went with it.
they should have at least sent a couple people to go and check it out, right? Like, because they took off with a huge hyperdrive. That's so valuable.
Send
Like,
Zeb. Be like, we'll call
yeah,
up Zeb and a few of the folks on the Outer Rim. We
yeah,
could spare them and go.
yeah. And even like, I mean, she's a general. I think she could make that call
Yeah.
of like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, and especially with her buddy, right, to get Zeb to go and check it out. Like,
Yep.
that would have been an easy call.